Of Dolphin Anti. I hope my audio is okay. I ordered some better audio equipment recently, actually, so it should come, in the next week or so. And I'm planning to start these YouTube videos more regularly, especially once I have the better audio equipment and I can do podcasts and stuff. But I'm also gonna release like private stuff from my Discord. I'd appreciate if you guys, didn't share it. Obviously, it's kind of a little out of my control. If you want to share it for advertisement purposes and say, look at the kind of value this guy's providing, that would help me, obviously. But other than that, I mean, I'd appreciate if you just kept it quiet and within this community. I think that's for the better. But people have been asking me how to use this anti-detect browser, and I use it to manage, a fuck of a lot of Reddit accounts and proxies and all this bullshit. And so I'll show you guys the basics. A lot of people have asked me, with respect to managing multiple profiles for OnlyFans accounts. Personally, I don't even do that. Maybe that's naive of me. I don't know, but I'm getting to a point where I just have so much fucking OF accounts that I'm probably going to just start using Dolphin for it as well and get that set up probably in the not too distant future because it's kind of getting out of control. And so this is a good way to like organize stuff. Now you can get a free Dolphin account, and it'll come with 10 browser profiles. So you can see I made just a Proton email. I just use Proton throwaway emails. When you run out of when you go to Proton, if you make like more than like 5 or something emails, it'll just like stop you from doing it. So either you can use one of your proxies or like get a VPN or to change your VPN location, and you can start making more then, or you can just hop on Dolphin and use one of your proxies and then go to Proton on the proxy and then make 5 more, whatever. That's sort of what I've done because I've kind of run out before. But I just made one here. You can see I made it recently. You get 10 free profiles and 1 free user, but it gives you like a full full account with 1,000 profiles for a while to fuck around with, and then you'd have to like upgrade your plan to get more of those. But I mean, if you don't need more than 10 profiles, then there's no reason for paying more. Personally, I do pay more, and I was using Go Login before this. But Go Login was just a flaming piece of fucking garbage, and I would not recommend it. And their support team was just like these useless fucking assholes. And I was like, I just had enough. It probably set me back like at least like 3 or 4 days with respect to my Reddit operation. I changed to Dolphin. All things considered, it's been working significantly better. I have my bots hooked up to it, and there hasn't been problems. So you can get an API and hook up automation technology to it if that's something that you want to pursue. And so just for like the basics of it, so like this is the site. You'll just like make an email and log in. You'll get 10 free profiles. Ignore the 1,000. That's just the trial. It works on Mac and Windows, whatever. I have a Mac, but I don't think it matters. And then for logging in, just log in. The fuck? The fuck am I doing wrong? I don't know what just happened. Give me a second. Oh, Dolphin had to update there. Sorry, that was the issue that I'm having. Sometimes it stops working and it needs to do like an upgrade or an update. And one of the issues with it is that they don't give you like proper notification. Like I don't know who the fuck runs this thing. It's like Russians or some shit. Um, are you fucking shitting me? I'm getting like bot verified by their thing right now. I don't know why. Never get bot verified. Okay, well, here we go. We're in. It needed to update, and so that was the issue that I was having. But you're in. You make a free account. There won't be a problem. Switches to dark mode, so you're not a sociopath. You can see down here items per page. You can switch that to 100 or 25, and then if you have more than that, then you have to go to it'll let you go between the different pages. But if you only have 10, it doesn't matter. They'll all show up here. Um, Creating profiles is what it sounds like. This is how you create your profiles. You don't have to change any of the settings in here. The cookies, you can in theory like copy and paste cookies and shit. That could be useful for certain things, but if you're just making basic profiles, you don't have to worry about it. The proxies is something that you will have to worry about. So you can just like call it like test account one. You can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And you can just click OK. It's fine. Once you have this account, you can like copy it, right? So you can make like as many of these accounts as you want, right? Up to like 30, right? So like we can show an example, like make a couple copies. It'll just automatically make more copies of that account for you. You can delete them. Okay. You go to edit, it shows the ID. That's how the Dolphin API actually signifies like what the account is. Like that's how I use it. Like here's some alpha, but like that's how I use it for my bot. It's like we use the IDs, and that's how we know what account is what. Because without it, the bot like it doesn't fucking know. When you go into the API, that's how you figure it out. So this doesn't have a proxy on it, and because there's literally no proxy. And so the way you add a proxy, you can see the select proxy. Well, there are no proxies available. The way you add a proxy is you go to the proxy section. So you see here, this is the browser section. This is the proxy section. You go to proxies, okay, create proxy, and this gives you the different formats of proxies that you can use, right? And so when you go and buy proxies, right, you're going to see that they're going to come in like more or less like this like format, right? Like they're going to have the IP, they're going to have like this like 4-digit number. I don't even know what it is, but there's like a 4-digit number that comes with it, and then there's like a login and a password. If you use web shares, that's the proxy I use. I'm not like and I'm not a shill for it. It's just the one that I use. To be honest, like I don't really know if there's that much of a difference between any of them. I use like relatively cheap proxies. I know that some people have to use more expensive proxies for like dating app related bullshit. Personally, I don't do dating app related bullshit because it's a gigantic fucking headache, and like I've spent a lot of time like fucking around with Reddit and like experimenting with Reddit, but I feel like my net cost in terms of like fucking around to find out was less than someone's like dating app net cost to fuck around and find out. Like if you have to go and spend like $1,000 on a phone and like all this money on proxies, like and fucking like I feel like that's way worse use of money when you could just be like posting in all these Reddits and upvoting posts and spending money on that kind of shit and actually getting returns potentially, rather than like just getting fucked up and getting banned like immediately. So I know there's like a huge appeal with these dating apps, but in my opinion, I think they're a waste of time. And unless you have really sophisticated skills and you're really sharp, I think that your time is better spent on like Reddit or Twitter, because clearly there's a huge market inefficiency for people like that don't know how to get traffic without the girl directly doing something. So like everyone has these problems, and it's like how do I like make money, but the girl doesn't do anything, and then I'm out here, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go buy a girl's account for $400 and fucking make money with it forever, and so you can clearly see how much value there is in being able to just like generate traffic out of thin air. And there are ways you can fucking do it. I mean, I'm doing it on Reddit. I think you can do it on Twitter, and so I haven't proven that yet, but I'm pretty sure you can. That's like my next stop. I think Reddit and Twitter are by far the best platforms. And then obviously if you have like a compliant girl, then you go the IG TikTok route, and you can make an argument that the IG TikTok route has like more upside. I know I'm spieling here, but it's like you can make an argument the IG TikTok route has more upside. And like I know a lot of these like big influencer bros that are like making big money, they all shill like the IG TikTok, and then everyone tries to copy them, but it's like you don't have their influence, you don't have their girls. Like a lot of these guys have girls with like 1 million followers on IG, who can just like if their TikTok gets banned, it's like boom, they can just start a new one and shill it once and immediately get a massive following, which will compound insanely fast. Like they have different kinds of powers that you don't have when you find like some fucking average girl on the street and you're trying to grow her. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like if you don't have those powers, it's like you need to look at different ways to make money. I mean, it's really that simple. And so copying someone is only such a good idea beyond like a certain point. So So yeah, back to the proxies, right? So I use SOCKS 5 proxies, and you can like on web shares change between like HTTP or like SOCKS 5, whatever. And basically like all you do is you can just like copy and paste this, right? And then now you see that there's a proxy here with this proxy address, right? Like a login password, right? The login is the login, but you'll just change that to whatever it is, right? So it can be like, test, and then, login, like password, like whatever it is. Like they're gonna give you their login and their password, on the proxy site, right? And then it's also going to give you the IP, and it's going to give you the port. That's what it's called, the port. I forgot what it was called, but once you add that, right? Once you add that, it'll come here and you'll see that you have a proxy now, right? And it'll show status as like unknown or whatever, or like unavailable status or whatever the fuck, right? Basically, like all you have to do is you can't do it right now because I didn't add a legit proxy, but you just have to like click this, right? You'll see when you do this, you have to click this, and it'll be like a green button that says like active. If your proxy shits itself and stops working, it'll say like not ready, or like it'll give you like a red button and it'll say it's not ready. Okay. What you do then, okay, once you have this up, you can see there's 0 profiles allocated to this proxy. So you can allocate multiple profiles to the same proxy, right? So if you go to browsers, you have your browser here, right? It's like if you click edit, okay, and saved proxies, you see you have your proxy here, right? And so you can click this proxy. Now this proxy is assigned to this profile, okay? You can click save, and boom, now you have a proxy assigned to this profile, right? So like obviously if you're gonna like mass produce accounts, you need mass, producing account strategies and systems for managing all this fucking bullshit, right? And so like you're gonna need spreadsheets to know exactly which proxies go with which account, right? So it's like, what are on my spreadsheets? Like my Reddit accounts, the names, the fucking karma, the date of the age, the age of the accounts, the day the account was put onto fucking Dolphin, the name of the account, the proxy associated with the account. I have all my fucking proxies on the spreadsheet as well. So if a proxy goes down, I immediately know which one it is. I can red it out so we know it's a dead proxy, immediately flip it to a new one. It's like these are like the problems that you're going to experience when you try to move things at scale. And then additionally, like you're going to have to teach a fucking Filipino how to do this, which is an additional headache in and of itself. I'm still working on that. But some additional things you can do. You can see, you see no status. You can change it to like ready, ban. Like if there's something that happens to the thing, you can make it called new, or you can make your own status, right? So you can label the account whatever you want, right? So this could be useful, for mass management of accounts, right? Additionally, you can put like notes in. You can write notes about like whatever is on the account. And like I label them based on like what they are, so it's like I have like a labeling system. So if like I'm doing a certain thing, it gets that certain label, and then people who are working on it, they have like documentation where it's like, okay, this label means this account does this, right? And like it needs this kind of attention, whatever it is. So when they click on the account, they already know what they're going to do, right? So like if you're having fucking Filipinos, manage a bunch of Onlyfans account using your Dolphin browser, then I would label the account like based on what it is. So like if your girl's name is like Jacqueline or some shit, this could be like Jacqueline free, Jacqueline paid, right? And then you can have all your different girls' accounts so they know, right? And then you can assign chatters to like each individual one. It's like, okay, you're gonna be on, Jacqueline free, Jacqueline paid, and Jamie free, Jamie paid today, and then this chatter's gonna be on the other ones. Whatever the fuck your system ends up being, that's what you can do. Additionally, you can make tags, right? And so you can make like an OnlyFans tag, for example, right? And so you see like this comes up here now, right? And so when you click on this, it'll only show accounts that are tagged under the OnlyFans tag. And you can actually have like multiple tags. So you can have like, OnlyFans and free, right? So it's like, So you can have like OnlyFans and free, okay? Something like that. And now it's like, if you look up both of these, it'll show up like the free and the OnlyFans, or if you just have OnlyFans, this will also pop up under the OnlyFans section. But you can have like multiple tags. So like if you're mass managing accounts, you can have a tag that's like, okay, OnlyFans free, like this, whatever, or like Reddit, whatever the fuck, upvote, whatever you want to have multiple tags for, and you can do organization systems based on that. So you have like mass management of these accounts in here. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you're able to do in Dolphin. if you go to filters, you can filter by users. So like you can see like this is my user. I don't ever add more users because they cost additional $20 a month, and you can just like swap between like like emails I've never had an issue, but I mean, if I started having issues, I guess I would pay the $20 a month. Tags, you can see the different tags, statuses, right? Like you can add these statuses. That's to here. And then, proxies, and then like websites, so I don't really know like what these website things are for, but I personally don't use them. I just open the proxies up. If you open up your account and then you get like a 403 error, some people get this like 403 error, what that means is your proxy's dead. Like if you buy these cheaper proxies, then like I think that they're kind of like being shared among multiple people, right? And so like someone else could like fuck over your proxy, and then you're kind of like SOL, but that's sort of the price you're paying for the cheaper proxies. If you want more expensive like dedicated proxies so that never happens, then you're going to have to spend a lot more money. And for my mass Reddit scaling, it's like I don't need to spend that money, and I won't spend that money because it's too fucking expensive. But that is more or less the breakdown. And you can see down here, it shows the users and the amount of profiles, so it'll tell you how many you have. I've never used the scenario folder personally. I don't really know what that does. I've never used the bookmarks. I've never used the extension or the users. The API, it takes you to this like documentation page where it shows you like how to do some kind of documentation. Personally, I just had my fucking dev do this for me, but I understand like the basics of sort of what's going on here, but I don't know how to code and make this happen myself. And then they have like an automation documentation as well, which is in fucking Russian. And so if you speak Russian, then maybe this is a W for you. But there are automation things that you can do using these browsers, and using this anti-detect browser services. And that's one of the values. But I mean, I think a lot of people in the Discord more or less just want to learn how to use it for managing like 10, like their OnlyFans accounts. So if they have like 4 or 5 or 6 accounts, what I would do is I would just add 6 proxies here, 1 for each account. I would open 6 browser profiles, okay, and I would just label each browser profile exactly what it is. When you log browser profile, okay, when you click start and the browser profile opens, all right, your like OnlyFans will already be logged in. Okay, if you open it up and you log in, right, and you leave it open and then you close the browser, okay, but the OnlyFans is still logged in and open, you'll be able to you'll be able to just like reopen it up and no one will have to log in again. So in theory, this could be a way to protect your passwords from these VAs, but that doesn't always work out because like sometimes there could be weird errors or whatever the fuck. I personally never had an issue with like a VA with like the passwords and stuff, but I do understand that some people are concerned with respect to that. So this could be a way around it, but you'd probably have to do a little bit of testing yourself. And yeah, you can just do this totally for free. I mean, proxies are pretty cheap. If you want to buy like 10 proxies, it's really not going to be a lot of money. And if they crap themselves out, then just have a few backups and just replace them. It's really not that hard. You can teach your VAs how to replace them also, and then have like a document in like a Google Drive and say, okay, like if the proxy shits itself and this is like what's going to happen if it shits itself, it's your job to just replace the proxies. This is how you do it. It's a really simple task, so then they know when they're working on the OF that they can do this. Now, some downsides of Dolphin, for example, like right now, my Reddit team manager can't access it because his internet fucking crapped out in the Philippines. And like that actually happens way more than you think in the Philippines. Like they live in like third world countries. Like there's a reason they work for fucking $2 an hour, and it's like their internet can just crap out for no reason. It's like it's not like they can call like fucking Rogers or T-Mobile like, hey, fucking Joe Smith, come fix my goddamn internet. It doesn't exist there. It's like it's the same in Mexico. It's like if the Mexicans start fucking around with the internet and they cut the lines or some bullshit happens, it's like you're fucked. It's like it's not like you can call a fucking Mexican and be like, yo, fix the internet. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Even if they say that they're gonna call someone, it's complete bullshit. It doesn't exist. Whenever they decide to fucking fix it, it gets fixed. And so it's like that's a downside to this, right? So for example, like my VA's internet crapped out. He tried to use like data, but he was getting all these proxy errors. And I'm like, okay, I know it's not my proxy because it's working fine on my side. It's just his internet connection wasn't stable enough to handle what was going on Dolphin because it requires a lot of fucking bandwidth to deal with all this shit, because he was using it fine before when his internet was fine, right? So that is a potential downside, and I have experienced those things where like the VA's internet goes down and they could still be working in theory if they were not on the Dolphin dolphin and they were using their like data or something. So I would have contingencies in place with respect to that. But for the most part, I think you're going to be okay. And I mean, listen, if the VA's internet goes down, then more likely than not, they're not going to be able to use the OnlyFans anyways. With respect to, other kind of scaling on this, my recommendation is, to fuck around on the free accounts to the best of your ability, and before you like invest into, multiple accounts, or like, the additional profiles, which cost money, because it's like it's not a cheap thing to run these, on a month by month basis. Personally, I only pay month by month because I have no idea like what the future is gonna look like. Like I know that they have like yearly deals and stuff like that, but like I have no idea if I'm gonna need this shit in like 3 months or 6 months or a year. Like I hope so. I hope I'm still making money from my Reddit operation in 6 months or a year, because I think that it'll only continue to be more profitable over time as I perfect the systems. But it's like, I have no fucking idea, so I just pay month by month. And that costs money, so unless you're really sure that you can, you need those profiles and you can scale effectively, then I would recommend not doing that. But in terms of just using it to manage your OF profiles, or to manage some of your Twitters, or to manage your Reddit accounts or whatever, I think that this is a very effective tool, and you more or less know how to use it right now. It's really not that complicated. It just seems intimidating when you first start, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But really, it's really not that complicated to use from like a basic perspective. Of course, like the more you scale it, the more accounts you add, and the more complexities you add into your systems, whatever they end up being, it's going to make it more complex to manage, and to teach someone how to manage. But my advice with respect to that is do everything step by step. It's like, if you do anything in this business and you try to like rush it, you're gonna fuck yourself. It's like with Reddit, it's like I took it step by step by step by step, and every day I fucking grinded at it, and I'm still grinding at it every fucking day, and I chip away at it, and next thing you know, 3 months later, you have fucking bots up the wazoo and like 10 fucking Filipinos working for you, and you can get 200 to 300 free subs per day of traffic. It's like, it can happen fast. I mean, 2-3 months of grinding is not exactly that much of an ask to actually make a lot of progress, given given the potential reward. And I think the same thing goes for this. It's like, if you try to run like 1,000 profiles at once, you're gonna create all kinds of headaches. But if you start slow and build it up over time, then you're gonna probably make a lot more progress than you think. And by the way, just an additional point, I would 100% apply that to your relationship with the girls, because if you try to throw everything at these girls right away, which I see a lot of guys do, especially at the beginning of the relationship with these girls, you're gonna be fucked. It's the same thing as if you were having a dating relationship. Okay, it's the same thing. If you try to date a girl, and on the second date you say, listen, I want to have kids, I think I'm falling in love with you, like these fucking retarded Sims do on the OnlyFans shit like that, what's going to happen? She's going to run in the other direction. The same thing with girls in this business, okay? If you go to the girl and say, listen, you're going to be a fucking TikTok live star, and you're going to post TikToks every day, and you're going to do the OnlyFans lives, and you're going to be nude, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that, like what's going to happen? Like she's going to be scared, and she's going to run the other direction, But if you say, okay, let's try this today, we'll build it up, we'll see where we are in a few weeks, we're going to make a lot of progress together, and you make her feel safe with you, okay? And next thing you know, after like 30 or 45 days, she's basically converted to a full-on fucking porn star, cam star, all kinds of shit, It's like, now you can really do some damage, and it's only cost you 30 or 45 days, and you've had the time yourself to build up as well, So that would be my recommendation with respect to everything in this business. I think it's a process, and I think if you expect to come in and make like 10, 15, 20 G's right away, I think you're sorely mistaken. I think that it's going to take time and at least a few months to really like grind it out and get there and figure it out. And, I think that if you try to skip those steps, if you try to skip that process, if you try to skip the learning experience, if you try to throw shit at your girl too much, I mean, the whole thing will just backfire in you, and then you'll be like, oh, why am I here, like not making the progress that I want? It's because, you tried to like, skip the hard part, which is the grind, so yeah, that's my video for the Discord, and I plan to make more of these. Hopefully it wasn't too long and you guys found some value in it. And again, if you're going to share it with people, because I understand, if I put a video out and I give people links, there's a good chance it gets shared, then, please do it in, from the perspective of advertisement of myself and my services and my Discord, and I appreciate it. Okay, thank you.